Hey, it's Robin at Fresh Faced Ginger, and I wanted to talk about a simple makeup routine that can be done every day, and it's only 5 products. Well, product number one would be foundation. That's the best place to start. Get something that is medium coverage or buildable coverage. You can get whatever you like. You can use a tinted moisturizer. There's a lot of options there. There's a couple of foundations I like. One of them is a coconut foundation, and then the one I'm putting on my face now is a tallow foundation. And I like both of them. These are more of a cream foundation, so they're more moisturizing to the skin, which is something that I need because my skin is more dry. I just place it where I want the most coverage and then blend it in with one of these beauty sponges. And this is not wet, this is just a dry sponge. And I'm only going to use foundation and not concealer. I've gotten to a point where I just really don't use concealer anymore. I just use my foundation. And that's the whole point of picking something that is more buildable coverage, because you can add more where needed if you need color correction or if you're trying to cover up blemishes or something like that. I also just use my foundation under my eyes and as a foundation for my eyeshadow. This is what works best for me. Product number two is a setting powder. I'm just using a loose setting powder that is a pink color. Trying to get off all the excess. I'm just using a small fluffy brush like this, and I just want to get small touches of powder where I need it. So like around the eyes where there's a lot of movement and you get a lot of creasing, I'll set my makeup there. I'll also put some on my upper eyelid, just kind of as a foundation for eyeshadow. Like I put a little bit of my foundation on my upper eyelid, and then I'll put some of the setting powder on top of it, and then put eyeshadow on. And then any other areas where I need it, like right now it's hot and humid outside, so there's areas where like I sweat a little more on my face, might put a little powder there. Um, and then that's it. I'm not doing any heavy baking. And then I'll take another fluffy brush like this and just kind of dust off the excess so there's not just a bunch of powder kind of sitting on my face. And when there's actually cold weather, on the rare occasion when it gets cold, I really don't have to use any setting powder at all because my skin is dry enough that it's just fine. But right now, because it's warmer weather, I do need a little bit of setting powder. So that's kind of more of a seasonal thing, but you have to gauge with your own skin, like what you need or what you don't. I still don't think the heavy application of powder is really necessary for anyone, though. That's just my opinion. Product number three is eyeshadow. And just for the sake of keeping it simple, I'm going to use one color today. I'm going to use it on my eyelids, and I'm also going to use it to fill in my eyebrows. As for the lid, so many people think that you have to do something complicated with eyeshadow. You really don't. You could just do what's called a wash of color, which is where you put one color over most of the lid and then just kind of blend it in. Just something very simple like this, where it's kind of a soft smokiness, and then you could take what's left on your brush and then smudge it under the lower lash line like that. Now I'm just using the same color to fill in my eyebrows, and this may or may not work for you. You may need to do a different color for the brows than what you did on the lids, but I'm just doing this for the sake of keeping it simple. And I have very light eyebrows, and I just want to fill them in a bit, kind of help what little hair I have to stand out at the front of my brow. Just trying to get some little hair strokes to make it look a little more natural. And I just keep going until I get the fullness and the shape that I want. The reason I like using powder is because it actually clings to the hairs on your eyebrows and helps them to stand out more, so it can be more of a natural look instead of a drawn on look. Number four is the eyelashes. So you can either use your favorite mascara or use some eyelashes like I'm going to do. I am just applying these to like right underneath the upper lash line like this. See how it's right under there? So this will just give a much more natural look. Just putting them on the upper lash line, and you can see what a difference that makes already. And here is how they look when they're finished. Now, of course, you don't have to use eyelashes like I do. You can just use mascara. I would do a couple of coats on the top lash line, and I would probably stick to the top lashes. I still see many women my age and beyond doing a heavy application of eyeliner or even mascara on the lower lash line, and it can kind of drag the eyes down or make the entire under eye area look a little more saggy. And so if you want to avoid that, help draw the eye up a little bit more by keeping stuff mostly on the top lid or the top lash line, and then maybe just doing a little bit of eyeshadow on the lower lash line so you can get some definition, but it's not that heavy line. Product number 5 is, of course, bringing some color to this pasty face. And so I'm going to do that using a cream blush. The reason I pick a cream blush is because not only can it be used on the cheeks, but it can be a lip color as well. You could just do a wash of color like what I did here, or you could build on this and create more of a bold lip. And then with my blush placement, I do like to go a bit higher on the cheekbone because I like to give a little lift to my features. You can see how much life that brings to my face, just adding a bit of color. I feel like many women are still skipping this step. They don't want to do any blush or they don't want to do any lip color. You saw how washed out I looked before. It can make you look kind of sick and pasty. It can make you look a bit older. But when you put a little color on your cheeks and lips, it can make you look more healthy, more youthful, have more vibrant skin. So don't skip this step. It's one of the more important ones. So this is what I would do for everyday makeup, minimal products, keeping it simple, but still something that's pretty that anybody can do. Let me know if there's something that I left out or if there's something different that you would add to the routine.